Hey guys, Mr. T here, just doing another quick video on the series of scientific report writing. I don't have a section written out here for this, but just wanted to give you an example of how you go about writing an introduction. For me, you can write an introduction literally just based on the task sheet, because the introduction is to tell the reader what you're going to be writing about in your content paragraphs. Okay, yes, you need to research these to be able to write them, but you've already set up the document to tell you what you're going to write about. So the introduction is just to inform the reader what they're going to be reading about soon, so they can decide whether they want to waste time reading your work or not. And the introduction, you can get the framework of it from your task sheet. So for my example, I've told you I'm going to cover the following topic of using genetics to improve disease treatment, and then I'm going to cover how genetics works, or how it is used in disease treatment, go over the effects on individuals, society, and the environment, discuss the risks, benefits, ethical concerns, and future implications. You just need to write that in a nice way, in a nice worded way, into a single paragraph, so that it leads into your content paragraph. So an example might be genetics. Why is it in bold? Genetics is a branch of let's say scientific development instead, that allows for the treatment of diseases covering the topic. It is a very technical branch of biology that involves DNA and proteins, so using some of the stuff that I've learned in class. It is a very technical branch of biology that involves DNA and proteins. Analyze how the scientific development impacts individuals. Clearly, as genetics is used to help people live and be healthy, it would have impacts on individuals and society as a whole, as well as the environment, and basically all living things. Genetics is a scientific development that allows for the treatment of disease. It is a very technical branch of biology that involves DNA and proteins. Clearly, as genetics is used to help people live and be healthy, it would have impacts on individuals and society as a whole, as well as the environment and all living things. Covered that. However, drop a however, along with the many benefits of fighting diseases, there are significant risks and ethical concerns that need to be discussed, along with possible future ramifications. Is that an effective introduction? Genetics is a scientific development that allows for treatment of diseases. It is a very technical branch of biology that involves DNA and proteins. Clearly, as genetics is used to help people live and be healthy, it would have impact on individuals and society as a whole, needed, as well as the environment and all living things. However, along with the many benefits of fighting diseases, there are significant risks and ethical concerns that need to be discussed, along with the possible future ramifications. So that paragraph gives you a gist about what's going to be covered without sitting there and going, this report is going to cover blah, 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 blah. You never want to try to do that. It's not a disaster if you do that, but there's heaps better ways. This is telling you that that's what the report's going to be about without saying this report will be about these things. So an example of an introduction and writing one there. I'm not saying that this is amazing, but it's an example written in a few minutes and all based on what the task sheet already asked you for. I didn't need to do research there. This came from knowledge that came from class time that you were taught by a teacher and existing English skills because you've been studying English since the start of school. All right, so hopefully that helps you out writing introductions, and I'll see you in the next one.